It's yeah.
Okay. I used to be afraid of the world outside my door, so I lived within the pages of a book. I used to be so scared of what I couldn't control. It seemed whatever I touched, I broke. The wind at my back, the grass so green, the sun on my face, it was all a dream till you said, wake up, wake up, wake up, take my hand. I'm here for you now, I'll help you stand. The world isn't so frightening, it's not all thunder and lightning. And as long as we are together, life can only get better. I used to be embarrassed about my eyes, my nose, my smile, so I hid my face behind my hair. I spent so many years feeling like I was drowning. Now finally I'm coming up for air. Laughing out loud, being part of a team, touching the stars, it was all a dream till you said, wake up, wake up, wake up, take my hand. I'm here for you now, I understand. The world isn't so frightening, it's not all thunder and lightning. And as long as we are together, life can only get better. Life can only get better.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Morning coffee. Of course, I'm doing water. But I'm your coffee. That's what my daughter said. No, Dad. No, I thought you were our coffee in the morning. Okay. We'll give you a pep. We'll wake you up. Good morning. Good morning. It is September 29th, 2025. And it's 3:30 in the morning. Everyone's still fast asleep in my place. And wow, what a week. What a week, what a weekend. Lovely weekend. I'm so happy. Got to be with so many people. Before we get started though, however, let's do welcome to our new subscribers. And I, of course, as always, got my notes. So want to say welcome this morning to Melissa. And this is fun because Melissa's from Thailand, and she signed up as a paid subscriber. Thank you, Melissa, for your support. So grateful. So very, very grateful. And I'm excited because you're the first one from Thailand. That's awesome. So we're at like 36 countries now. Awesome. Good morning to and welcome to AM Blackmere. Welcome. Welcome to Penny and to Nan G or Nancy. Welcome, Nancy. And Hannah S. There we go. Welcome, Hannah. And then the Wandering Quill, Wandering. Today, tongue twisters? I don't know. The Wandering Quill, Alec. Welcome, Alec. So, wonderful weekend. Really cool. As you can see behind me, I brought my artwork home. I actually was asked to participate in an art exhibit. Yeah, and I tried to go the first day on Saturday and I missed it. And I was told that there were quite a lot of people that showed up there. So I went yesterday I was so out of place. I was so out of place. I think I was. I talked with people there, and they said, no, we liked your art. Well, yeah, but the whole theme, yeah, it was about light, but it was all spiritual stuff that was there. Beautiful, gorgeous paintings. I don't paint. So jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I appreciate painting. I'm fascinated by it because I don't know why. It's just colors. I'm fascinated by them, but I don't get them. I've been doing artwork my whole life since I was 2, and I'm just fascinated by paintings. There were so many gorgeous paintings there. Just beautiful, beautiful works of art. I'm like, yeah. But whatever. It was in there. Lots of people. I think there was like 2,000 people there. Anyway, yeah, it was neat. I enjoyed it. So, then late yesterday evening, I came and picked it up to bring it home, and now I get to hang it on my wall. Cool. I think I'm going to hang it right over my desk here, right in front, up there by my award for making. Congratulations to Jamie Buckley for designing a New York Times best-selling book. Yeah. And then my drawing. Anyway, that was fun. It was a great event. And what was really fun is over the weekend, we had a huge get-together at the church, at our church. And that was amazing. People came and they stayed. It was a 2-day event. And we drove back and forth. But there were so many people that stayed there. And out on the field where the baseball diamond and the place where they do like soccer, little kids soccer and all that, there was like a tent city there. And a friend of mine came and says, "Have you seen the tent city?" I was like, "Actually, I haven't. I stay on the other side of the church where there's also other like awnings and stuff. Those of us, we come back and forth each day. And just visiting with people that I haven't seen in a year, which is so nice. And meeting, some of my family came down. I had 2 of my nieces come and sit with us. That was lovely. And a lot of youth, a lot of these kids that they're grown, they're married, they have kids of their own. And I was teaching them when they were 8 years old. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. Just seeing that, it just blows my mind. Yeah, everybody growing up. It's amazing. And feeling old. Yeah, just really, really feeling old. But I went and I looked down there, and there's like 130 tents. It was a tent city. Amazing. I got my grandkids came up and was like, "Papa Bear, we're here. And that was fun. So hanging out with kids, grandkids, friends, dear friends. Some of these folks I've known for 30 years, longer than 30 years. Anyway, that was beautiful. Music and celebration and praising the Lord, and that was lovely. I just enjoyed myself so much. Oh, and of course, my wife and my daughters, we brought a lot of good food. They had free lunches that they gave to everybody. The church made for everybody, and we were like, no, thank you. We have so many food allergies. We've got to bring our own food anyway. So people are doing like these little sandwiches, and we've got olives and just a lot of stuff. We're spoiled. We're food brats. That's a thing. Anyway, so that was lovely, and being able to see people, and yeah. You know what really that I noticed that I hadn't noticed before is we had so much security. There were, I don't know how many. It seemed like there were dozens of men out there, and they're all armed. And they're doing perimeters around all the tents and everything. And we get home, and on the way home, and I hear that there was a shooting. Someone drove a truck or something into a church, into a chapel, and shot a bunch of people, and then set the church on fire, burned it to the ground. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, and that's sad. Really, really sad. Anyway, prayers for those who have lost loved ones and had to go through that. And it's happening more and more across the country. And here, my view, or the way that I want to interact with you and with everyone else, is I want to give you stories. We want to have fun, right? Enjoy storytelling in our community. But at the same time, I also want to help a whole new wave generation, maybe. I don't know. Some of these folks are, that I help are just as old as I am. But I really would like to help a whole new wave of writers and encourage them to write their stories, to complete their stories and get them out to the world. I think the world needs more stories. The world does need more stories. The world needs hope. The world needs happiness and joy. And everybody needs it. Even, unfortunately, people that are doing things that are not smart. Maybe I don't know. A friend of mine would argue, says, well, that's just what happens when you're not breastfed as a baby. I don't know if that's the case. But I do know that if people are happy and they're joyful, they're less likely to do mean things. So, hey, let's go with doing happy things and encouraging people and lifting spirits up. Letting people know that they're seen, that they're loved, that they're heard, That's good. Have conversations. When's the last time you sat down next to somebody and they're a stranger and you turned to them and struck up a conversation? Maybe on a plane. I did that once. I do that all the time, actually. But I did that once on a plane. I had not been on a plane before. I don't like flying. I don't like flying. I can imagine. My imagination is so good. I know that I'm, 20, 30,000 feet above the ground. And I know that there's a seat and some sheets of metal and then nothing. And that just freaks me out. Anyway, so we're about ready to take off, and I'm flying from Utah to Boston, and I'm sitting next to this Asian lady, very smart lady, and she's on her laptop, she's typing and there's like one of those DNA thing looking, I don't know if that's what it was, but this spinning thing, it looked like molecules spinning around on her desktop, on her laptop. And I turned and said, hi, my name, she's like, don't talk to me. She just didn't even look at me. She's just typing away. Okay. All right. And we're at the very, very back near the engines. Yeah, that was weird. I was supposed to sit right next to my brother. There were 4 of us taking the flight, and they all 3 were sitting together. And for some reason, I got put in the very back. And this is my first flight by myself. And I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. Then the weirdest thing, I know, we're on a tangent, but this is funny. And then we go to land. Oh, we actually landed in New York. Then went from New York over to Massachusetts. And a hopper, is that what they call it? In a smaller plane. That was actually more fun. It was weird and rocky, but it felt like a roller coaster. And I like roller coasters, so, if you're going to go on a terrifying plane ride, let it be like a roller coaster. Kind of makes sense. Anyway, so we're about ready to land, and I'm at the back of the plane. I'm watching everyone in front of me. Everyone's talking to each other. And just as we hit the runway, I kid you not, it was like a Stephen King movie. It's like everyone's program. Everyone put their left hand on the seat in front of them as the whole thing, the whole plane's like rocking, as the tires hit the runway. And then everyone drops their hand. And lesson, don't yell in a plane. I only did that once. Not smart. Really not smart. Anyway, I just yelled, is this normal? Because I'm watching everyone who's not looking at it. They're talking to the person next to them. And it's like everyone puts their hand up like everyone knows what to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to crash. So, yeah, planes don't. Yeah, I don't like flying. I'd rather drive. Can't drive to Hawaii. Maybe someday. Yeah. So that was interesting. Security. That's seeing so many armed men, most of them my friends, and having to do that to protect people at church. I understand it. But that's just sad. Anyway, yeah. One thing, we're sitting there talking about food, sitting there with family and friends, and we're laughing. And we set up an awning. We set up two, but right on the paths around the church. So everyone that comes in, there was like, what? 20, almost 3,000 people. Anyway, but they're walking. It was a convenient place for me because I got my chair set up right past the sidewalk. So people that I haven't seen forever, I could just go, hey, and I call out their name and they come over and I can shake everyone's hand. It was very convenient. And of course I look over at my wife. I was like, this is a good place. She's like, well, we thought that out for you, sweetheart. We know you're going to be talking to people, so you need to be right over there. Anyway, so I love olives, not the black ones you go and get in every grocery store, but I like Greek olives. I like a variety of olives. And I got this medley, and I was so looking forward to it on the second day. So I pop off the top, I look at it, and the seal's broken and it's all open. I was like, oh no, we bought these and I don't want to eat them now. Could it be food poison? It's torn open. My wife looks at me, she goes, yeah. What do you mean, yeah? Did my children get into my olives? And she's like, well, I don't know, dear. Why don't you ask them? So we're in this awning, all these chairs, and we're all in this little circle. So what do? I go and I look at my very first teenage daughter. I look at Winnie, who's 15. I look at her, I said, so did you? And she looks at me and goes, and just bursts out laughing. The guilt. I was like, that's hard. You got into your dad's olives. That's wrong. What are you doing? She's laughing. She's like, only a little bit. I was like, oh my goodness. I turned to Carly, her older sister. I'm like, Carly, did you? And she's doing this and she's laughing. So my children don't lie. It's not that they don't do things wrong. My kids don't lie. They don't volunteer information, but they won't lie to you. So asking them point blank the right question, yeah, you're in trouble. So, yeah. Still had a lot of olives. And I don't mind sharing. That's the whole thing. My wife was saying, I kept telling them, just wait. Your dad will share everything with you. Yes, I will. Don't get into the olives. Yeah, that was funny. So that was really, really enjoyable. Yeah, just have to look at them and so did you? Oh, yes, I did. No. So excited because we're getting close to jamiebuckley.com launching it. In fact, this last week, guess what happened? We'll have the free, we'll have the paid tier, which is like $50 a month. And then you have the annual, of course. And then you have, I think the annual will be at like, $425 instead of like $600, $425. And then for just $25 more, you can be a founding or an entrepreneur level. And that's where I will be personally interacting with everybody. And we're going to build a cool community of writers and really talk things out. I want to help solve challenges for writers. The business side too, not just creative writing and, world building, all that. That's fun. But I've been doing this for a really long time. And, I have ways of doing things. None of them are what you see traditionally. I know I said last time, talking with my friend Ann, Tell Me a Mystery. None of us are traditional. We're indie authors. That I get. But I've been doing this for so long and found things that really, really work well and things that do not work at all. And a lot of the things that do not work at all, and I've tested them and I've tried them and I've beat them to death. Spent so much money and so much time on a lot of these courses and seminars and webinars and you name it. And I want to walk people through these and show you what works and what doesn't. I want to show you perspectives that you probably haven't considered before. And other things too that are very simple to do that create progress and successes. And so I want to create this community. Anyway, so the top tier is entrepreneur. And last week we had like 21 people sign up for that. That's awesome. So we've got a core little group. I know more are coming. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to do a new podcast, private podcast. It's not going to be, none of it's going to be public, but that'll be for, that'll be for everybody that pays. I'm upset. I think that too many writers are getting discouraged because they're getting taken advantage of. That's not okay. That's really not okay. There are also ways to do things. There are ways to accomplish things for free instead of paying exorbitant amounts of money for things you do not need, are not required. But selling things to indie authors, it's racket. There's so many. I'm not saying everything's bad. Not everything's bad. There's some really great stuff out there. We're going to bring those things up too. There's things and people and services that I can recommend that I still use today and I will continue to use because they're brilliant. But if you don't know what they are, there's a lot of knockoffs or other versions that do not work whatsoever. And so I want to bring those things up to people, to writers, to authors. And I just want to help, really help, and be able to jump into a room with a bunch of other authors and say, all right, what are the problems you've got? Let's solve this stuff. Let's get past all this. Because the world needs you. So if there's something that I know, you will know it. That's what I'm doing this for. And I'm doing this also to pay bills. And I'm not ashamed or afraid of that. It's, and people are going to ask, well, why don't you put that out there for free? There's so much stuff that's out there for free. That's right. Go get all the free stuff. You could probably accomplish everything you need to do if you find the right free stuff. That's awesome. But I spent every year since 1986 doing this. I paid the price. I've been homeless 3 times during this process. I know this will be my business. One of them. But I'm going to make sure that every moment's worth it. This is the place that you're going to want to be. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's a lot closer, and that will launch this next month. I think middle to the end of the month. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, what do I have left on my list? JamieBucket.com. Yup. So excited about that. Want to help writers? Of course, you know that. We're always doing that. We love helping writers. Fiction matters. It does. Ink and Purpose. That book's doing well. How come nobody's leaving reviews? Why don't people leave reviews? In fact, I want to bring that up because Delana Marr, our friend, member of this community, one of my supporters, and a dear friend. So she wrote that book. What is it called again? Reflections from the Mirror. Okay. Reflections from the Mirror. And she's got it. She's a lot of pre-sales. Doing well. She hasn't had a review. I'm going to go write a review after I'm done with this because I bought the book, but I also read all of her articles, and it's about AI. I knew almost nothing about AI. I listen to and I read the arguments on both sides, and I just wanted to understand so I don't feel so stupid. And I could better comprehend the arguments, hiccups, arguments on both sides. And those are just brilliant articles. Really brilliant. And I feel educated. I feel less stupid. So I'm going to recommend that book. She's a member of our community. I don't think she doesn't. I didn't see it in paperback. It's still Kindle, so it's still an ebook. But $3.99. Oh, for crying out loud! Go buy the book. You will, if you want to learn about. If you are like me and you're paranoid because you hear so many bad things about AI. And I never wanted to use it for artwork. Now I use for research. What was I telling somebody the other day? It's like, no, AI doesn't get to draw anything for me. No. But what it does do is, I've spent, ever since I got onto the internet, I use Google or whatever I can find as reference pictures. I can't draw everything from memory. But I'll take things and I'll collect all the pictures together so I can use them for references, whether it's buildings at certain angles or whatever. Or animals. I'm horrible at animals, so I use pictures to look at it to draw my own picture. The fun thing is that if I want to draw a certain scene, sometimes I'll arrange those pictures in such a way to trigger it so that I can draw it on the paper. And the cool thing is that with AI, I can describe it and what I want in that picture, and it will draw me a really, really crappy version of that. But it helps me, why? Because instead of having to hunt for, a picture of a bear running at someone down a path, or I'm just making this up, but, those different components like a background scene and a person running and terrified and a bear at the right angle or whatever, you can suggest that to the AI and it will give you a crappy version of that, but it still looks like a bear. And more times than not, it's kind of at that angle. It cuts out the research, hours and hours of my time. And I just go from asking it a question and then I can draw my picture. It's awesome. Totally awesome. Anyway, I started doing that after realizing, oh wait, AI it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Am I going to use it for everything? Absolutely not. But being able to realize what it is in its place and that it is just a tool, it's not taking over my world. I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to that point of view. That's not a thing. It's really not a thing. Is it going to take over? There's going to be a lot of people that always a lot of people that use tools. There's also a lot of more people that use tools for the wrong reason and they use them badly. That I think is going to be the majority of what happens with AI. Does AI have functions out there in the world? Absolutely. Is it going to replace my job? It couldn't. It just can't. It can't, because it can't replace me. It can't replace my ideas, my projects. No, it can't. I don't foresee that it ever could, because it still can't be me. Period. So, I'm no longer realizing that and then reading Delena's book. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty dang confident. I feel great. I'm going to recommend this book. I'm going to start recommending books that I think are really, really good. I think you'll really enjoy this. If you already know a whole bunch about AI and you're pro or con or whatever, hey, you get your opinion's your opinion. That's awesome. You should have an opinion about it. I hope that you have an educated opinion about it. The nice thing is that these articles in Reflections from the Mirror, she was asking questions that I didn't even know enough to ask yet, which was kind of cool. So I would read something and then start to formulate these questions. Yeah, but what if? Yeah, but what if? And then I went to the next article or the next chapter of this book, and then she asked that question. And that was cool. And I appreciated that. So I am less ignorant, less stupid, And actually pretty comfortable now thinking about AI and what's happening. Am I amazed at what comes out? Yeah, I am. Is AI going to be a major part of my life? No. I mean, AI is everywhere. You use editing software. It has a version or a level of AI in it. So very few people you're not going to avoid interacting with or using it. So why be afraid of it? Learn about it. And you're afraid because chances are you don't know enough about it. So, yeah, it's a plug for Reflections from the Mirror. Yeah, I'm going to get that. So, oh wait, I already got it. I bought it right before I started this. But I've already read all the articles. So, yeah, going to write a review. And if you do get the book, or if you have bought the book, please go to Amazon and write her a review. Just write a review. I think all of us need to be better at that. Writers, indie authors, we need those reviews. It really helps a ton. I mean, you already know on my books, I've sold tens of thousands of copies, and that's with like 21 reviews. But every time a review is written, good things happen. Just one. All of a sudden, there's another landslide. Yeah. Let's support each other. And if you don't like the book, write what you don't like about the book. I like honest reviews. Don't leave some people are really irritating. They leave 1 star and then don't say anything. Or 1 star and I didn't like the book. Why? How does that help? Authors actually, more times than not, they want to improve. They want to tell a better story or, write better subject matter. They don't know why you don't like the book. And we want to know why so we can improve ourselves. So you're kind of a mud butt for doing that. You know that, right? Yeah. That's why you don't get invited to the party. That's it. Yeah. Oh, she's got an article that I saw that I started to read and went, squirrel, I got to do this video. Yeah, on Substack. It's called Fighting for What Matters. So it's really short. Anyway, I'm gonna get to that here in just a minute. I love you. You look good. You look happy. You must have had a good weekend too. It's gonna be an amazing week. It's gonna be an amazing day. Lots of work to be done. But I'm excited. I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm rested. I gotta go take my shot here in just a minute. That's gonna be crappy. Whatever. It's all good. It's all good. We're making progress. Yeah. Started lifting weights the other day. That feels good. Wow, that feels way good. To feel stronger? Yeah, I like that. Now I gotta figure out how to... You know what? If any of you that read this, if you know where is this just as simple as looking up something on YouTube? If you know exercises to increase somebody's balance, would you let me know? I don't care if you put something in the comments or, send me a DM, whatever. I'd like to figure out, I want to get my balance back. I used to have phenomenal balance. But I'd like to get my balance back. I don't like walking and feeling unsure of my footing. And I've just gotten weak over the years. And I want to get that back. So, ideas. That's my ask. Anyway, you are more than you think you are. Yeah, you are more than you think you are. I'm telling you. I'm going to keep telling you. I think that's my job. Is to remind you of good things. You're awesome. You're amazing. And you're more than you think you are. So have a good day. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.